Buried beneath the cold silence of Russia's vast tundra lies a prophecy so ancient, so terrifying, it could reshape everything we think we know about the end of days. A prophecy whispered through time, from the deserts of Israel to the Kremlin's iron halls. A name echoed in scripture, feared in legend: Gog and Magog. Some say it's metaphor, others say it's already unfolding. But what if it's both? What if the final war isn't coming because it's already begun? In the book of Ezekiel, chapters 38 and 39, we find one of the most cryptic and controversial prophecies in the entire Bible. It speaks of a leader named Gog from the land of Magog, who will rise in the latter days to lead a coalition of nations against Israel. The text is vivid, apocalyptic. It describes a vast army descending from the uttermost parts of the north. And when scholars trace that direction from Jerusalem, they land squarely in Russia. But here's where the mystery deepens. Some theologians argue that Magog refers not to Russia, but to ancient tribes in modern-day Turkey. Others insist the term Rosh in the Hebrew text is the root of Russia itself. So which is it? A misinterpretation of ancient geography, or a divine code pointing to a modern superpower? To understand Magog, we must journey back to the Scythians, nomadic warriors who roamed the Eurasian steppes thousands of years ago. The Scythians were fierce, mysterious, and feared across the ancient world. Josephus, the Jewish historian, identified Magog as the forefather of the Scythians. And where did the Scythians dwell? In the lands that now form southern Russia and Ukraine. This link has fueled centuries of speculation. Could Gog be a future Russian leader? Could Magog be a prophetic reference to the Russian people? Some scholars say yes. Others argue that the Scythians were scattered too widely to pinpoint a single nation. But the tension remains, because if Russia is Magog, then the prophecy is not just symbolic, it's geopolitical. Russia's modern resurgence has reignited interest in Ezekiel's prophecy. From Crimea to Syria, its military footprint has expanded dramatically. Its alliances with Iran and Turkey mirror the coalition described in Ezekiel 38. Persia, Iran, Togarmah, Turkey, and Kush, possibly Sudan or Ethiopia. Coincidence or convergence? Some prophecy teachers argue that Russia's increasing hostility toward Israel is a sign that Gog is rising, that the bear has awakened. Others caution sensationalism. They point out that biblical prophecy is layered, symbolic, and often fulfilled in unexpected ways. But even skeptics admit the parallels are chilling. Let's break it down simply. Interpretation 1. Russia is Magog. This view holds that Ezekiel's prophecy is literal. Gog is a future Russian leader. Magog is the Russian people. The invasion of Israel will be led by a northern coalition: Russia, Iran, Turkey, and others. This war will trigger divine intervention, earthquakes, fire, and hailstones. It's the beginning of the end. Interpretation 2. Magog is symbolic. This view sees Gog and Magog as archetypes, symbols of rebellion against God. The prophecy is not about Russia, but about spiritual forces. The final battle is not geopolitical, but cosmic. It's a war between good and evil, played out through nations, ideologies, and belief systems. Both interpretations carry weight, both stir controversy, and both leave us with a haunting question. Are we watching prophecy unfold or projecting meaning onto chaos? In Islamic eschatology, Gog and Magog, known as Ya'juj and Ma'juj, also play a pivotal role. The Quran describes them as destructive forces unleashed before the Day of Judgment. They break through a barrier built by Dhul-Qarnayn, a mysterious figure some associate with Alexander the Great. Once free, they wreak havoc across the earth. Interestingly, Islamic scholars do not link Gog and Magog to Russia. Instead, they see them as symbolic of lawlessness and global disorder. But the overlap with the biblical narrative is striking. Two faiths, two prophecies, one terrifying convergence.
During the Cold War, many Christian thinkers saw the Soviet Union as the embodiment of Gog and Magog. The evil empire, as Reagan called it, a godless regime threatening Israel and the West. When the USSR collapsed, that interpretation faded. But now, with Russia's renewed aggression, the theory is back and stronger than ever. Some say Putin fits the Gog archetype, a strong man from the north, a leader with imperial ambitions. Others say that's too simplistic, that prophecy is not about personalities, but patterns. Still, the tension remains, because whether symbolic or literal, the shadow of Gog looms large. So when does this war happen? Some believe it occurs before the tribulation, a 7-year period of chaos and judgment. Others say it happens during the tribulation, as part of the Antichrist's rise. Still others place it at the end of the millennium, as described in Revelation 20. Confused yet? That's the point. Prophecy is not a roadmap, it's a mirror. It reflects our fears, our hopes, and our interpretations. But one thing is clear. The Gog and Magog war is not just a battle, it's a reckoning. Now, let's dive into the mystery. Some fringe theorists believe that ancient artifacts, buried in Siberia or hidden in Russian vaults, hold clues to Gog and Magog's identity. Lost scrolls, forbidden relics, even a rumored Ark of War said to contain prophetic technology. Sound far-fetched? Maybe. But history is full of secrets, and Russia's vast frozen landscape is the perfect hiding place. Could these artifacts unlock the prophecy? Could they reveal the true nature of Gog? Some say yes. Others say it's myth, but the allure of hidden knowledge remains. At the heart of the Gog and Magog prophecy is Israel, a tiny nation, surrounded by enemies, yet central to the world's spiritual destiny. Ezekiel says Gog will attack Israel in the latter days, but God will intervene, not just to defend Israel, but to reveal his power. This is not just a war, it's a divine spectacle. Some believe this war will usher in the Messianic age. Others see it as the final test of faith. But all agree, Israel is the key. Why does this prophecy grip us so deeply? Because it speaks to our primal fears of invasion, of betrayal, of apocalypse. It taps into our longing for justice, for meaning, for resolution. And it reminds us that history is not random, it's a story with a beginning and an end. So what do we do with this? Do we dismiss it as ancient myth? Do we embrace it as divine truth? Or do we hold it loosely as a warning? The prophecy of Gog and Magog is not just about Russia. It's about us, our choices, our beliefs, our future. And maybe, just maybe, it's not about predicting the end, but preparing for it. As the winds howl across the Russian steppes, as ancient names echo through scripture, as alliances shift and empires rise, one truth remains. The prophecy waits, not in fear, but in silence. Because Gog and Magog are not just names. They are shadows, and the shadows are moving. Will we be ready, or will we be watching as history fulfills its final verse?